Welcome back, everybody. We are back again to answer viewer comments, and we have a lot to talk about today. So I'm going to put the titles up so you kind of know what to expect in this video. And now, I told you a couple times back that I had done this with my tequila and I was drinking on the video, and I got this comment that basically said that I'm disliking for drinking on stream. And in the last video, you all responded very strongly that you were now going to be disliking the video because I wasn't drinking. So since I'm just your puppet who does whatever you say, today we're going to be drinking. And I'm drinking Bullet Bourbon here. I enjoy Bullet Bourbon. I think I've had this on the channel before, but let me just pour it real quick. This is going to turn into a ASMR channel before you know it. So before we get started, I just want to give a big shout out to my wonderful friends in the state of Kentucky for this amazing invention. Cheers. So the first comment was actually under my last Q&A video, and I saved it for this video because I thought it was such a great question. So it's, as a YouTuber, what impact does the need to produce content have on your investing activity? Like, what decisions, good or bad, have you made that otherwise would not have been made if you didn't have a YouTube channel? And now, this is really such a great question, both with investing and the type of content that we make, right? And so for me, you know, the biggest thing that I can think about is SCHD. Now, I've told the story before about my channel where I was really struggling for about a year after I started posting videos. And part of it was obviously on myself, where I wasn't posting consistently. The topics that I was posting on were a little bit all over the place. But I only had maybe like 800 subs after posting for like a year. And I posted a video, it was a 19-minute video about me going through the SCHD methodology PDF and talking about the actual like meat of the methodology for the ETF. And I only posted it because it was the only video I had available and I had nothing else to post that week. And I thought it was going to be terrible because who wants to watch me go through a PDF for 19 minutes? Well, apparently a lot of people, because that video really started the growth in my channel. You know, I went from the 800 subs in July of 2023 to like over, I don't know, over 30,000 or 35,000 a year later, which, you know, is crazy growth. And it was all because of some SCHD video of me going through a PDF, which now that I found when I posted an hour-long video going through the DOJ versus Visa PDF, had a lot of people watching that too. So apparently you guys really enjoy long, boring videos of me going through PDFs, but that's a topic for another day. I mean, even on my own channel, I've only made 3 SCHD videos over the past 15 months. And those 3 videos are 3rd, 4th, and 11th in terms of highest views ever on my channel. And that's why when you go on YouTube, you see so many YouTubers making SCHD videos all the time. That's because they always get views, pretty much no matter what. Now, in my case, I've told you guys that I try not to just make a video that's going to get views because other people have already done it. I just don't really want to do that. You know, it's nothing against people who do that. That's cool. I get it. They're trying to get views. But I think that's why when you look at other YouTube channels in the finance space, people are just cranking out SCHD videos all the time because they always work. You know, my opinion is, you know, how many more things can I say about an ETF, you know, every month? I don't really think there's that many things to update. So I will make videos about it, but I try to kind of space them out to where it's meaningful in terms of, hey, they just changed up after their reconstitution. That makes sense to make a video on. But, you know, people ask me to do a video on the split, and I'm like, man, there's like 100 videos about it already. There's not much I can really add to it. So I didn't do it. But this is an example of where, you know, how views and how YouTube videos perform can definitely impact investing decisions. So SCHD, I think, was one where, you know, I hesitated to cut it out of my portfolio. I held it longer than I probably would have because I didn't want to alienate people who had come to my channel because of it. Now, you know, in other ways, having a channel and kind of putting my portfolio out there and being accountable to it is a good thing, right? Because I really think long and hard before I make a major decision. Like when I sold Hershey, when I sold Starbucks, when I sold United Health, I thought long and hard about doing it because I knew that I was going to have to make a video about it. I was going to have to explain to you all why I did it and what I was thinking. And so in that way, it can be a positive thing because there's nothing wrong with really scrutinizing your own thought process before you make a big decision. I think that's something we should all do. And having a channel, knowing it's going to be out there, knowing you guys are going to see it and respond to it, definitely helps in terms of me really making sure that this is what I want to do. But yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of YouTubers who make investing decisions based on the content that works. I'm I'm not really doing that. Obviously, you can see the changes that I've made in 2024. And really, that was about me saying, you know what? I'm not going to worry about what people think about this. I'm going to do what makes sense based on what my strategy is. And like I said, we're going to talk about that here a little bit more. All right, so let's get to the next one. The next comment is, hey, Matt, big fan of your channel. In my humble opinion, the best finance channel on YouTube. You hear that? It's the best finance channel on YouTube. So, you should tell your friends. Question for the next QA video. Does your significant other participate in investment decisions? Do you discuss your ideas, investment strategy regularly? So, in my case, the answer is yes and no. So when it comes to just general money decisions, absolutely. We talk about those together. We make sure we're on the same page. The day-to-day of our kind of money situation, I deal with most of it because it's my area of expertise. But we absolutely talk about them in general, right? In terms of things like what we're spending on, income, loans, are we buying a car, these type of things. When it comes to actual investing strategy, not really, right? So most of that is being left to me. Now, I will say, I've told you guys before, the majority of our invested assets are invested in the S&P 500 index, right? So that is something that we just kind of know. We've done that forever, for probably, close to 20 years now. And so that's kind of the plan with that. Now, with the actively managed part of our portfolio or anything else that we do, my wife kind of just leaves it up to me. We'll talk about it here and there. If NVIDIA's having a good day, I'm just like, oh, NVIDIA's up big, and we're like, yay. But we don't really talk about it in terms of, what do you think about this or that? Now, I will ask her opinion on certain companies where, her background or her areas of expertise will help me if I don't have that, right? So when I was trying to decide between Ulta and Lululemon, I talked to her and actually my daughter both, just to try to understand what Ulta's business was all about, because I didn't really understand it. And then also when I was looking at insurance companies, I would ask her questions too, because in her career, she worked kind of in the claims process for a long time. So she has a much better understanding of how insurance works than I do. So, in terms of what stocks we're buying and all that, I'm pretty much doing that. And we just talk about kind of the general money situation that we have for the family. So hopefully that makes sense. But I was just rambling on there. This is already working, apparently. We'll see. All right, so next up, I get a few comments from time to time that are like this. I think I shared my portfolio number. This person's like, nice, I'm just trying to get to 25K. And this person was like, I was excited since I was getting close to my 6-figure in stocks, and I was let go, I'm guessing from their job, and it's time to start using my emergency fund. And then this one, I wish my portfolio had 6 digits. And I just want to remind you guys, this is a journey, and we're all on our own individual journey. I know that sounds very cliche, but it's so true. I mean, just look at my own situation. I was 26 years old and basically unemployed. I got laid off of my job. I had no investments, no savings, no anything. I was literally paying my next month's rent with the last of my unemployment check. I had no more unemployment money coming. So that's kind of where I started. And at 26, that is pretty late in my opinion. And from that point on, my wife and I, who at the time was my girlfriend, we've done really well for ourselves because we worked at it. We just kept kind of grinding, kept trying to get better jobs, more income. And, we got to a point to where now we have a net worth kind of over 7 figures, and we've been able to build a life for ourselves where we're, more comfortable than we've ever been in the past. And more importantly than that, we're able to provide our kids with the opportunities that we want to provide them, right? And that's what really matters to us. So that's why I don't talk about net worth and all this type of stuff. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what my net worth is compared to what your net worth is. All that matters is, are you actually making progress on your goals? So, don't look at someone else's account or, investment portfolio number and get discouraged. At the end of the day, it's where are you in your own journey and what do you have to do next to get to where you ultimately want to go? The best advice I can give you is this. Concentrate on making sure that your income is stable and also strong and growing, right? Make sure that you build a foundation of investments preferably in index funds. That's what I did originally at the start. And once you do that and you're getting in the habit of contributing to your investments every paycheck or, however often you get paid, then concentrate and spend your time on ways that you can increase your skills or basically things you can do to increase your income, whether that's starting a small business or some kind of side hustle or just learning skills or getting certifications to get you paid more. And then as you get paid more, add more into your monthly investments, and you'll be surprised at how well you'll do over time by just concentrating on that. And then, over time, you'll contribute more and more to your investments and keep repeating that step of growing your skills to increase your income. If you only do those steps, you will do amazingly well. Keep that foundation there. Don't mess with it. Keep your income stable and high as long as you can. And if you focus on those two things, you're going to be fine. But good luck to you. Don't get discouraged. And so next, when I shared this portfolio update a while back, I said that I was trying out light mode on Schwab. And well, you all responded with, my eyes. Light mode is wild. Didn't know I was going to get flash banged on the timeline today. Please change to dark mode. You guys' responses to this were pretty strong, which kind of made me laugh. Now, I've been dark mode for, I don't know, it feels like almost like a decade now. And there are certain apps that I can only use in dark mode, like YouTube Studios one, Instagram, Twitter. Like I can't use those in light mode. But as I've gotten older, I don't know if I'm getting older or what, but there are certain apps that I just prefer in light mode now for whatever reason. And I don't really know why. I think for some apps, it just looks better in light mode. I actually saw somebody, I don't know if it was like a tweet or I saw some comment where someone said, people keep saying that dark mode is better for our eyes, but as humans, we've evolved over thousands of years of reading black ink on a white background. And I was just like, let me try that. And you know what? I kind of like it. So I'm sorry if you're like, wow, light mode sucks. Stop posting these light mode pictures. There are probably going to be more light mode pictures coming. Sorry. Okay, so the next one, I really thought this was a great question, and I wanted to address this specifically. It says, Matt, I've been watching you for almost a year. During this time, I've seen you dramatically change strategies quite a bit. Don't you think that you're not allowing much time to determine how your strategy is working for that time? A lot of times the best thing we can do is nothing, and I'm bad at this as well. And I just want to start with, I didn't take this as a negative comment. Like, I don't think this person is trying to be like, oh, gotcha, you're doing something bad. I really think it's a genuine question, right? And my response to this is, I don't really think I've changed strategies. I think that I'm finally starting to follow my strategy where I wasn't all throughout 2023. And let me show you what I mean. Because in my original video where I shared my portfolio for the first time, it was back in August of 2023. This was the strategy that I showed in that video. It's almost identical to the one I have now. But the issue though is that in 2023, I wasn't really following my strategy at all. Like I was really focused on these recession-proof stocks, and I was overly weighting dividend growth over any other growth, whether it's revenue growth or free cash flow growth, when my strategy clearly says that my goal is to beat the market in total return as the primary part of the goal. And so, for example, even when I bought Walmart, my video was literally called I shouldn't have bought Walmart because it didn't meet any of the criteria in my actual strategy, right? So I even said that I wasn't following my strategy at the time. So at the end of 2023, I took a look at my portfolio like I always do, just kind of assessing how am I doing compared to my strategy. And I just noticed that I wasn't really focused on the right thing. I mean, I was focused on dividend growth as a primary characteristic when it's really a secondary characteristic. And I was looking at these recession kind of proof stocks because everyone told us that the recession was going to start in 2023, right? So it was really me just taking a step back and saying, okay, I sat here and I said that being able to beat the market was my primary criteria and that, generating increasing cash flows was a primary criteria. And then I went and bought a bunch of stocks that weren't really doing that at a high level, right? So it didn't make a lot of sense. And as we got into 2024, I decided, look, I'm going to start following my strategy. I'm going to change this up a little bit. Yes, people aren't going to like it. I'm going to sell a bunch of stocks that people probably got introduced to my channel because of, and I'm going to get comments where people are just like, what are you doing, right? So I get the kind of perspective that it looks like you're changing strategies. But the reality was that I wasn't following my strategy, and now I am following my strategy. Hopefully that makes sense. And I know people will say, well, building a passive income stream is also in your strategy, but it feels like you've kind of gone away from that. And I agree. That is true. That's probably something that could be cleared up or, maybe worded better. But the way I look at it is a capital allocation strategy changes over time. That's why you've had companies like Meta and Google initiate a dividend just within the last year or so. So, that's something that if I buy great companies and they're growing at a good clip, then over time, those capital allocation strategies will change. You have companies that were growth companies that will convert to pay dividends as they mature. And that's something that is more important as I get closer to retirement. And at the end of the day, I still need companies that are growing at a good clip and not just dividend growth. I need companies that are growing revenues and cash flows, more importantly. I'm finally following what I said I was going to do. And yeah, not everyone's going to agree with it. Not everyone's going to like all the changes. But I mean, I've said it multiple times. I don't think you're going to see nearly as much change going forward as you've seen over the past year, but not everyone's going to believe that. So that's okay. But there were also a few people that liked the changes when they say things like, honestly refreshing to see you shift towards some growth stocks to blend in with value. Way too much emphasis on dividend yield from YouTube personalities versus fundamentals. And look, at the end of the day, people should invest in whatever way makes sense for them. There are people who really do have a dividend-focused strategy or an income-focused strategy, and that's totally fine. It just depends on what your own personal strategy is and making sure that you align to it. All right, so this was one of my favorite ones. I always get comments like this. He makes amazing videos and analysis, but is a terrible investor. It's honestly impressive how impeccably he times the bottom and the top, but usually in the wrong direction. Maybe it's a Cathy Wood effect. Now, really, Cathy Wood, that's hurtful. That's just unnecessary. But I get these type of comments a lot because I share all my wins, I share my losses, I share my missed opportunities, and more importantly, I highlight them and talk about them with you all so that we can all kind of learn whatever I learned from it, right? But people end up just picking the losses and they completely forget about any of the wins that I had, right? So everyone will jump on me because Starbucks went up a lot after I sold when they announced that they got a new CEO. Walmart went up a lot after I sold. Lulu and MSI went down after I bought because I bought around earnings time. And of course, those are a little bit unpredictable. But they conveniently forget to talk about all of the wins that I've had because people said buying Nvidia in March was insane and it's up 50% since. When I sold Starbucks, I actually replaced it with Meta on May 3rd. And since then, Meta's up over 30% and Starbucks is up just 32% because of the bump they got when they changed their CEO. So my question would be, would you rather have Starbucks or Meta right now? I think the answer is Meta, and those 2 percentage points are probably going to be nothing here real soon. Or the fact that I was up 48% on my Valero position and then ended up selling it right here, and it's down 20% since. And probably most importantly, while I'm still trailing the S&P 500 overall since inception, over the past 6 months, I'm outpacing the market pretty handily, which is basically the time since I've made all the changes in my portfolio. So I must be doing something right, but hey, let's not let the facts get in the way of your feelings. I did love this comment though because it really did sum up the right approach. Investing is a lot like baseball. In 2017, Aaron Judge struck out 208 times, good for 6th most all time and leading the league that season. He also hit 52 home runs, won Rookie of the Year, and finished second in MVP voting. A few home run investments make up for a lot of swings and misses. And this is just a beautifully worded comment. Thank you for adding this. And you know what? You're not the only one who believes that. You can just ask Warren Buffett, who said it in his 2022 annual letter. Our satisfactory results have been the product of about a dozen truly good decisions. And then also Peter Lynch said it in his book, One Up on Wall Street. If 6 out of 10 of my stocks perform as expected, then I'm thankful. 6 out of 10 is all it takes to produce an enviable record on Wall Street. And this is part of the challenge, right? You're always going to have people online who try to troll you and try to assume that every decision you make has to be great, otherwise you're a terrible investor. What they don't realize is it's not about that at all. It's about continuing to take educated swings so that over time you perform well. And part of the reason why I share my performance as transparent as anyone else does on YouTube is so that you all can see that it's actually working, because it is. So I could worry about someone online calling me a terrible investor or calling me Cathy Wood, or I could listen to Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, and my own portfolio performance graph. Moving on. And by the way, if you know what my shirt is and you like it, check down in the description for a video that if you haven't seen yet, I highly recommend you watch. You will enjoy it. You guys might see those type of comments whenever I share them on the channel and be like, why do you even do this? Like, what is the point of doing this? Well, I'm going to show you. This is the point. It's because I get comments like these as well. Personally, I used to be afraid of investing, and your channel, along with a couple others, have pushed me to the point where I learned there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, do you realize how awesome it is to hear something like that? Like, to be a part of someone's ability to say, you know what, I wasn't investing before and now I am. I love that. Like, I'm extremely honored, humbled, every word possible. Honestly, this video should be on all MBA courses. Thank you. Absolutely love your videos. No bullshit, straight to the point, all facts. Too many YouTube channels are clickbait or get rich quick, whereas you provide good quality, actionable information. Or ones like this where people have genuine questions and are worried and say things like, I have no experience, nor do I understand the covered call strategy. If I buy ETFs from YieldMax, am I obliged to make a covered call? Thank you. And I get to answer them and basically say, no, that's not what this is. I'm just explaining how the ETF works. And they're like, oh, thank you for the answer. Like, they're relieved, right? So, this is the type of stuff that actually matters. For every person on the internet that tries to troll or make fun of what I'm doing or call what I'm doing less than worthless, there's someone who genuinely appreciates the help that they're getting or the value that they're getting, and it's helping them move along on their own investing journey. And quite frankly, that is what really matters and all that I really care about. That makes it totally worth it because I can at least be one part of trying to provide some decent information that's not overly exaggerated, that helps someone improve their life. And kind of speaking around this topic, I posted a poll and I asked you all why you were here, right? If I wasn't beating the market or whatever, because I got that type of comment. And we got over 900 votes, with over half of you saying you like the stock analysis on the channel and another 26% who enjoy the commentary around market news. So that's close to 80% that like stock analysis and market news, which I thought was pretty cool. And while all that is great, and I'm glad you enjoy it, I got more than a few comments that said they want more memes. And what made me laugh about this is I've said in the past that I don't really even think about the memes when I put them in my videos. I just kind of edit my video, and if one pops up based on what I'm talking about in the video, then I add it. And it's not something that I ever plan out. But I did notice that there's been a lot less memes in the videos lately. So I don't know what's been going on with that or why I've just kind of, ignored them or not put them in. But I am going to start trying to put them in a little bit more. I think they break up the monotony a little bit. They make the finance and investing topic a little bit more fun to kind of learn about. At least I think so. So if you missed the memes, I'm going to try to do some more. But every once in a while, I also get comments like this. I'm here specifically to see you fail. JKOFC. Now, if I was a young guy, I would assume that JKOFC means just kidding, of course. But I'm an older guy, so to me, I don't really know what those mean. For all I know, these are like a person's initials or signature, like, John Kent of Fremont County. Well, you know what? I have something to tell you, John Kent of Fremont County.
I will look for you. I will find you.
All right, so this next comment I got on an intro video where I talked about kind of my backstory and kind of where we started out, kind of broken on unemployment. And they were like, I wish this was the first video that YouTube recommended me. You've come a long way. And as a 19-year-old, I say thank you. Thinking of recording my journey just like you, but we'll see what happens. Now, my advice to you is this: do it. Absolutely do it. And I don't mean record your journey so you can post it on YouTube and have people call you less than worthless. What I'm saying is record your journey for you, right? Start recording what you're going through, what you're thinking, what, steps you're taking to try to improve. Because when you're 30 or 40 or 50, you're going to want that video proof of what you were dealing with so that you can see how far you've come up to that point. So it's not about posting on YouTube. It's about you documenting your own journey for yourself, for your family, for your future kids, whatever it is, that is extremely valuable. And I even think about that now. I have a video of when I started my YouTube channel. I was at 0 subscribers. I started it. I literally recorded myself saying, so today is May 23rd, 2022, and I just wanted to show you guys something. My channel literally has 0 subscribers. So we are starting from 0. Here we go, starting from 0, right? And, now we're at, I don't even know what we're at, over 35,000. I have to look, which, in the grand scheme of things, there's a lot of channels that are way bigger than mine. But hey, I think it's a pretty cool accomplishment. And I remember being at 0. Is anybody going to watch any video that I ever post, and why, right? So even if you don't do YouTube, which you don't have to, it is so worth it to record your journey, keep it for yourself, keep it for your family, and I think you'll be amazed at how much progress you'll make over time. And at the end of the day, it can help keep you motivated because man, I'm documenting this and I'm not getting anywhere. I need to work harder, or I need to make sure I'm making progress. And, even if that's just a small piece of it, it's absolutely worth it to do it. So I highly recommend. So that's it for the questions. I hope you guys had fun hanging out. In the future, I may actually do this maybe as a live stream, maybe take some live Q&A. That might be kind of fun, but I'll take a look at it. I've been testing it out, seeing if I could do it, working with OBS. And so maybe over the next month or so, I'll kind of put that out there. And if you guys can join, that'll be pretty cool. But look, I appreciate the comments, both positive and even not so positive, because at the end of the day, this is about learning. And even when I get those comments that are questioning what I'm doing, I genuinely think about it. And I think about the response that I'm going to give, because sometimes it's good to hear what other people, how they're perceiving what I'm doing. And, there's times when I look at that and reflect and be like, yeah, you know what? I could do that better. So I appreciate it. Hope you guys are great. I wish you all the best, except for you, John Kent of Fremont County.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Now, if you guys want to see my previous Q&A video, you can watch that by clicking this video right here. Hope you guys have a great day out there. Financial independence is true freedom. So keep building and stacking wins, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.